today's the topic of discussion is GPT-4o, and we are going to learn how to do a deep dive on GPT-4o. So GPT-4o is a model, as we know, is recently released by OpenAI, and we'll get into the nitty-gritties of what this model is, how to work with this model, and how to create apps with it. I want to do a quick poll to understand the pulse of the audience who are in the session today. So since generative AI is a topic which is applicable and useful to everyone, so I just wanted to understand the composition of the audience here in the session today. So I have launched a quick poll. You can just let us know what you are. Like, are you a student? Are you a working professional with less than 5 years of experience? Or are you someone with greater than 5 years of experience? So you can just quickly click on the poll and tell what describes you the best. 42% of people who are with us are students, and 23% are working professionals with less than 5 years of experience, and 35 or almost two-thirds are the people with, one-third of the people are greater than 5 years of work. So I'll ask one more question to the cohort, right? So the question is, what is your coding experience? So if you have never coded in your life, you can just choose none. So if you know basics of programming or have coded sometime, just choose intermediate. So if you are very good at coding, if you are coding in your general life or something, you can just choose your expert. Okay, I think we have 70% of people who are intermediate level coding. We have 10% people who have not coded at all. We have 20% people who are expert. So with these questions out of the way, I'll keep doing more polls to understand the nature of the audience. I'll also do some interactive polls throughout the session. But meanwhile, now that we know the pulse of the audience right now, so let me just begin with the session. So what I'll do is, it may be a first session for many one of you with Build Fast with AI. So I'll just give a quick introduction of myself and Build Fast with AI. I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes of your time to give you a quick intro, and then we'll jump into the deep dive of GPT-4o. First of all, my name is Satvik. I am the founder of Build Fast with AI. So I just have a very quick story that I wanted to tell about myself as to how I founded Build Fast with AI. So I started my journey at IIT Delhi. So this was the college that I studied in. So I graduated in 2019. So after graduating in 2019, I went on to work for a lot of banks. But while I was still at college, I used to run an NGO while I was at IIT Delhi. So this is one of my picture, and this is my first startup, which was right outside the college, right when I was in the college. So then I went on to work for a couple of banks as data scientist and risk analyst. And from the last 1.5 years, I've been running Build Fast with AI. So Build Fast with AI is a startup by IIT Delhi alumni, primarily focused on helping companies and individuals leverage generative AI. So this is one of my picks from the recent event that we did at Google. So we organized on May 19th, we organized a large event at Google's office in Bangalore. So this is that event. So having given a brief intro about myself, so I'll also maybe quickly introduce Build Fast with AI. So the main idea behind Build Fast with AI is very simple. So there is a lot of content that is available online about generative AI, but there is no direction, right? So even with my background of coming from IIT and working in data science, it at least took me around 3 to 4 months to understand what to study and what not to study and how to leverage those technologies. So with Build Fast with AI, our primary aim is to help you build your AI ideas, right? So there are two main verticals to what we do. So one thing is the consulting part, where we actually work with a lot of companies to help them build generative AI features and products. And the other part is the workshops and courses, where we actually organize courses and workshops on generative AI. So workshops like this, we keep organizing free workshops every week. So just like this one. And we also have a crash course, which is a 1 month long course on generative AI, which is again starting very soon. So I'll talk more about the crash course on generative AI that we are offering. So if you are someone who is very curious and wants to check it out, you can just go to buildfastwithai.com/GenAI course to learn more details about the course. Yeah, so I'm done with my basic introduction. So let me just set up the ground rules for the session today, and we'll begin with the session. So first of all, don't sit with a doubt. So most of the content that we are seeing today didn't exist a few months back, so it's very natural if you get it out. So whenever you get it out, make sure you send your question on the chat. I'll keep checking it periodically. The second thing is to participate actively. So whatever questions or polls that I'm launching, try to answer them actively, try to think about it. So engage with the content to learn more. And last and most important rule is to have fun. So we are all gathering here on a weekday, that too at night. So there is no point of sitting dreaded through a session. So now let us just get on with the topic of today, which is GPT-4 deep dive by Build Fast with AI. So this is what we will talk about. The broad agenda for today's session is very simple. First, we'll start with a brief timeline of GPT models. First, we'll start with a brief timeline of GPT models. Then we will go and talk about GPT-4o. What is GPT-4o? And I'll also talk about some new updates to ChatGPT. So there were many features which were only available to GPT-4 or maybe ChatGPT premium members. Most of those features are coming to the free version as well. So I'll also show you what are the features that you can expect within ChatGPT. And as with any lecture with Build Fast with AI, we'll try to build a product. So we'll try to create an AI math teacher which helps with solving doubts of students with GPT-4. And if you stay on till the end, I will also show you how to create your own chatbot using GPT-4. So first, let me just begin with the timeline of GPT models, right? So what exactly is GPT-4o? So GPT-4o is a series of models that is being released by OpenAI. So I'm not sure why my pen is not working. Just a second. Okay, never mind. So so timeline of GPT models is something like this. So GPT 3.5 Turbo is the first model that OpenAI has released, and this happened around November 2022. So this happened around November 2022, which is almost like 1.5 years ago. So GPT-4 Turbo was the first ever model that was released to public as an API. So this was also the model that was first available in ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, when it got released for the first time, so GPT 3.5 is the first model. Earlier it was called Text DaVinci 003. So now we call it GPT 3.5 Turbo. So one thing that you notice is that even though first version of GPT 3.5 came about in November 2022, so there have been regular updates to this model. So every 4 months or 5 months, OpenAI has been shipping new and new updates. So the latest updated model is something from around Jan. So the latest GPT-5 Turbo model is from around Jan of this year. And from GPT-4 to GPT-4 Turbo, so around last year March, GPT-4, the first version of GPT-4 was released, right? And even as with GPT 3.5, GPT-4 Turbo has also undergone many changes. So the first version was released, let's say, in 23 of March. In 23 of March. So there have been again 4 or 5 versions of GPT-4 models that have been released since. So people were expecting a GPT-5 model. So when like the last version of GPT-4, so GPT-4 has been around for more than a year now. So most people were expecting that OpenAI will probably release a GPT-5 model. So even when they announced that they are going to do an event on May 13th, I guess. So May 13th of last month. So everyone was expecting that they would get to see a new GPT-5 model. But nonetheless, we got a very good model, which is GPT-4o. So GPT-4o is again the latest model by OpenAI, which was released not even a month longer. And the reason I wanted to do this session is this model is really a game changer, and this is actually going to redefine a lot of things in AI landscape. So I will want to tell you about what are the game-changing features that this particular model has brought. How is it going to change the AI landscape? Most importantly, how can we use or build with this particular model? So that is what our main focus is going to be. So now let us go ahead to the next slide. So about GPT-4o, so this is the most, I've already told that this is the latest LLM released by OpenAI. It was released on May 13th, 24, which is not even a month long ago. And one of the most catchy features about this model is that this is one of the most capable multimodal models out there. So if you have used ChatGPT or anything, these all models are primarily text to text models. So you input text and you get output as text, right? So LLMs have been like this. But with GPT-4o, what you can do is instead of just text input and text output, you can actually give audio input and get text out. So instead of typing something and getting typed response out, you can actually give an audio input. You can give it audio input and then get a text output. So you can give an audio input and get an audio output, right? So on and so forth. So this model is truly a multimodal model. So multimodal in sense, text is a modality, images is a modality, audio is a modality, video is a modality. So modality is just a different mode of conversion. Most of the models still GPT-4 before GPT-4o were primarily simple large language models. So they can only take text input and they can give text output. But with GPT-4o, everything is changing where you can give an audio input, you can get a text output, you can give an image as an input, and you can get a text as an output. So that is why this is one of the most capable multimodal models. Even in today's session, our focus will be on how to explore this multimodal aspect of GPT-4o. So maybe to just show you this particular part, when I talk about multimodal, let me give you a quick demo of multimodal where I give an audio input to ChatGPT and I'm also getting an output as audio. So I have, GPT-4o will be generally available to everyone soon. Uh, Everyone soon, but I have a premium subscription, so I can show you the features right away. So whenever it is widely available in India, you will also be able to use it. So let's say I have a ChatGPT app that is available with me right now. So this is how the ChatGPT app looks like. So since I have premium subscription as of now, I can see GPT-4o. So I'm selecting GPT-4o. So there is one way where you can just give a text input and you're actually getting a text out. So this is very simple. So now what I can do is that I can chat with GPT-4o in language. So let us try to do that. So it says it's connecting. Hi, ChatGPT. I'm taking a session about ChatGPT. So what are the points that I should mention about you?
Great. What would you like to talk about or do today?
Just an introduction about ChatGPT.
Sure. ChatGPT is an AI language model created by OpenAI. It's designed to understand and generate human-like text based on the input it receives. You can use it for various purposes like answering questions, providing explanations, creating content, and even having a casual conversation. It's quite versatile and aims to assist you with whatever.
So this way, let me just get out of this. So as you have seen, the first question was just audio, like text input and text output. So now I was just talking, so I didn't catch all the words properly. Since maybe I'm recording, that is why. So, but yeah, like I'm able to converse with ChatGPT. So you'll see this particular button. So currently, this doesn't use the latest GPT-4o model directly, but you can have like a chat with it. So that is the power of multimodal. So instead of typing everything and getting response, you can just start chatting with the model, right? And with GPT-4o, we also have a feature where GPT-4o can see the surroundings as well. So imagine having, like, it will be a truly intelligent experience when we deal with it. So having said that, this is a truly multimodal model where I have also shown you how to, I'm not sure if you were able to listen to what ChatGPT was telling, but yeah, I was able to have a chat with it directly. So there are few more things that are that really stand out for ChatGPT, GPT-4o. So one thing about that is the Omni architecture that they have introduced. So earlier audio model was separate. So text to text model was one model. Text to speech was a different model. Speech to text was a different model altogether. So that way we had to deal with 3-4 models just to have a conversation, right? So even in the feature that I've shown before, so earlier it had to have three models: text to speech, speech to text, and also text to text model. So with GPT-4o, none of that is necessary because this model can operate between modalities. So you can give it an audio input and it will probably give you a text, vice versa. It can converse in multiple modes. So that way, you are able to create a lot of different applications with low latency that way. So which would have not been possible with models before GPT-4o. And GPT-4o is also a cost-effective model. So earlier version, the first version of GPT-4 used to cost around $60, right? So it dropped to 15, and now GPT-4o costs around $15. So which is almost 1/4 the price, and you are getting a lot more features with it. And it is supercharged with vision and audio, just as I've shown you. Instead of just having a text-to-text conversation, we are able to have an audio chat, or maybe once the feature will be live, we will also be able to see and chat with ChatGPT as well. And yeah, so this actually unlocks a lot of different capabilities where you can have a real-time voice conversation. You can have real-time interviews with it. You can have a lot of different possibilities with GPT-4o. But even though these features are great, there are a lot of different things to ponder about here. But how do you use? So as of today, if you want to use GPT-4o model, how would you do it, right? So there are two ways to use GPT-4o model. One way is to directly go to ChatGPT and start using it directly. And second is to use GPT-4o using code, right? So I'll show you both the ways today, where I'll show you how to use GPT-4o within ChatGPT. And I will also show you how to use GPT-4o with code as well. So we'll try to create some simple applications as well. So with ChatGPT, one thing that I wanted to mention is that OpenAI announced that GPT-4o will be free for everyone. So, currently this feature is not available for all the people. So sooner or later, you will get access to GPT-4o directly within ChatGPT without paying for a plus subscription. So currently, I think only few countries have this feature and it is not widely rolled out. So sooner or later, you can wait for this particular feature when GPT-4o will be available for free. And there were some features that were only available for premium subscribers before, where data analysis, internet access, memory, there are a lot of other features that were very restricted. Now they are widely available. And one of the features, very popular features about ChatGPT was custom GPTs. Now this is also available. This is already available widely. So anyone can create custom GPTs right now. So this is what I'll cover in the bonus part, where I'll show you how to create a custom GPT and how to share it with other people. Having said that, let us just go ahead and I'll just show you some of the features that ChatGPT has to offer. So with this new update from OpenAI, so what are all the things that you can do with GPT-4o? Right. So let me just go to my ChatGPT. Let me open a new window. And one thing is that, let's say whenever you have premium subscription or whenever the feature is widely rolled out, you can just go ahead and select GPT-4o. That will give you access to GPT-4o. And again, so this is like a simple chatbot that you can chat anytime. So this is something that you can do. And I have also just shown you how to do a voice chat, with GPT-4o, where you can just click on this voice chat button and you can start chatting with it for free. So this thing, you should also notice that this is also available on Android and iOS apps. And this chat voice feature is also available for free. So you can chat with GPT 3.5 model if you don't have a subscription. But this is something that is very useful. So you can just go ahead and try it out. So install your iOS or Android app, and you can start a voice chat with GPT 3.5 model if you don't yet have the subscription. And one of the so this is the basic features, right? So I'm guessing you should you were able to use chatbots before. Basic text to text capability is always there. But what are the other features that ChatGPT has? So one thing is that ChatGPT earlier didn't have access to internet. Now internet access is also widely available. So now India just had its elections. So let me go ahead and ask if it knows about the latest advancements that were happening, right? So it just happened yesterday. So let us see if it is able to identify correctly or not. So let's say I ask who won the Indian election. So you see that it is searching. It searched three sites and it is actually giving us an answer. BJP actually won, and it secured these many seats, which seems correct. So one feature is that internet search is now widely available. So you don't have to use Copilot or maybe some other different apps to access this feature. So this is now widely available. So you can just ask some latest and recent questions and you will get the most updated answers. So this is one thing. And voice feature is something that I've already mentioned. But one of the crazy features that I would say is the data analysis part, right? So you can actually analyze data sets directly within ChatGPT just by simple prompting, right? So what I'll do is I'll just show you an example of how to do that, and then we'll see how to do it. Okay. So this is the data set. If you have any taken up any ML course or AI course before, so I think you should be aware of this particular data set called Titanic data set. So this has the name of the people, their gender, age, whether they survived or not, what is the type of ticket, so on and so forth. So let me do an analysis on this using ChatGPT, and let us see how it works. So this is the data set I have. So let's say I have some basic questions like what is the distribution of male and female? What is the distribution of age? How many people survived? How many people didn't survive? So on and so forth. So let us just try to do a simple analysis using ChatGPT. So this is the ChatGPT screen. So let me go ahead and upload my CSV file. So I'll ask the question saying how many people were there on the ship. So let's say I ask a very simple question. How many people were on the ship? So it has the entire database. You can see here, we have the entire database that we have uploaded. And now I just ask the question, how many people have survived? So it says 891 people were there according to the data set provided, which is correct. So let's say how many people survived. People survived. And what percentage of them were female? Let's say. So this is the analysis that I'm doing. So it says out of 891 people, 342 survived, and it says that 68% of people were female. So generally, this is also expected because whenever there is a shipwreck or something, uh, like children and women are generally let out first. So this makes sense. So that way, let us just try to ask a more complicated analysis, right? So give me age distribution of all people who died. Show me a pie chart. So this is actually using GPT-4o under the hood, right? With this thing, Otherwise, let's say if even though this is simple analysis, so to write code something to code something like this, it will at least take a couple of hours to do an entire analysis. But with something like ChatGPT's code interpreter or data analysis, they call it right now, is actually very useful to do the all the analysis in a matter of minutes than hours or days. So let us just see this diagram, and it's not allowing me to open, but let's see if I can download this. No, I can't. But yeah, but you can see that there is a proportion which says that most percent, like 33% of people were between 21 to 30 years of age, and 22% of people are from 31 to 40 years of age. So yeah, this is a good analysis that we are getting out. So the point I wanted to make is that ChatGPT that we were using before, primarily for text, can do a lot more things right now. It can do a voice chat. You can actually ask about some latest news, or also you can do advanced data analysis. So, but the catch here is that if you are on a free version, there are some limited number of conversations that you can do. If you have a premium subscription, there are more number of conversations that you can do per day. But those numbers are not out yet. So when you have the feature, make sure to try these out and do different things with it. So this is the basic part where I wanted to talk about how you can use GPT-4o within ChatGPT, and these are the different features like advanced data analysis, internet search, voice chat. So before we proceed into the code part, where I'll show you how to create applications very quickly with GPT-4o. If you have any questions, you can just post it on the chat, right? I'll just take a 2 minutes pause here to see if there are any questions. So if you have any questions, you can just put it on the chat. Or maybe you can raise your hand. So I can also take 1, 2 questions.
Satvik, the chart could not be downloaded.
Maybe not directly through the app, but I guess you'll be able to find some sort of a Chrome extension or something that will do it for you.
Okay, got it.
Okay, great. So if you have any questions, meanwhile, feel free to use the chat. Feel free to send the questions. I will keep checking it meanwhile. But this is the first part of the session where I wanted to show you how to use GPT-4 within ChatGPT. And I've also wanted to show you some of the advanced features like data analysis, internet access, and voice chat. So now moving on from this, so we know that GPT-4o is a very powerful model, and we would want to be able to build some strong applications with it, right? So what if I want to leverage the power of GPT-4o to actually build some applications for myself? So how would I do that? So the question is how to build apps with GPT-4o, right? So these were all fine. Using ChatGPT for your productivity or for some use cases, that is fine. But now I'm going to show you how to build apps with GPT-4o. So what we'll try to do is we'll spend 5 minutes to build 2 apps, like 5 minutes for this app and 5 minutes for this. So we'll try to build a translator app which takes an English sentence and gives back maybe Hindi or some other language. And we'll also build a AI math teacher. So using GPT-4o's vision capabilities, we'll actually create a maths teacher application. So let me show you one example as to how that works. So I created this application. So I'll just show you the things that you can build with GPT-4. So this is the simple application that I've created. I named it AI Math Teacher. So what you can do is you can just upload your homework and it'll give you a feedback on whether you have did the problem correctly or not. So let's say I just have a problem ready with me. So this is the algebra problem that I have. A plus B plus C is equal to something, then find this. So the answer is actually wrong. In the solution that is written in this, the answer is actually wrong. So I have created this app on GPT-4o to actually check if the solution is correct. Let us see if it is able to find the mistake or not. It's just analyzing the answer right now. Correct. So the answer in this thing was wrong. So the answer should have been plus 29. So we see that GPT is able to, it's telling that the answer is incorrect and the correct solution for this is so on and so forth. So it is giving me the correct steps and the correct answer. So this way, what have we done here? Instead of just a simple text, we have given an image as an input to the model, and we have asked it to do some of things for us. So that way, it is actually looking at an image and it is actually giving a feedback whether our answer is correct or not, which is great. Now, I'll show you how to build this for yourself, right? So if you want to build something like this by yourself, so how you can do that? So that is what you'll do that. So as a cherry on the cake, instead of just AI math teacher, I'll also show you how to build a translator app. So given the time frame, I can only show you the backend code, and which is very simple and easy to follow. If you want to learn more, yeah, I'll share more resources at the end. Now, what I'll do is, now let us just jump into the code. Let us just see how to use GPT-4o using an API. We'll create a chatbot with GPT-4o, and we'll also explore vision capabilities of GPT-4o to create a math teacher app. So I have the code, pre-written code already ready. So I'll just give you a walkthrough of the code as well as explaining everything in the part. So I have this code with me. Okay. So I'll just explain the, so this is not a lot of code. So we only are using 5 to 7 lines of code at a time. So even for the 10% of people who have not coded anytime before, there is no need to worry. So these are very simple 4 or 5 lines code that you can simply follow through based on what I say. So let me just clear the outputs. Let me just run the fresh node. So as a first step, what you need to do is you need to install the OpenAI library. So with OpenAI library, you will be able to use their OpenAI's models. So while the installation is in progress, one thing that you should also do is to grab an OpenAI API key. So for anyone who does not know what an API key is, just think about it as a password or maybe a secret code to access OpenAI's models. So OpenAI's models like GPT 3.5, GPT-4 or other models are closed source models. These models are owned by OpenAI and these are also hosted by OpenAI. If you want to use those models, you will need an API key or maybe a sort of permission from them so that they can bill you also accordingly. So you can just grab your API key from this link. So you can just go to this link and create a API key for yourself. So I'm just skipping the part because I already have API key. So you can just go to this link and you can create your own. And as a next step, I'm just loading the API key securely into my notebook. So ideally, let's say if you're not using this part, you can actually whatever your API key is, you can just go ahead and type here as well. So if you don't want to use this, right? So since I've already saved it, I'll just let it be like this. Okay. As I've mentioned, I'll show you 2-3 things that you can do. First is a simple chat. So let's say I'm asking, who are you? Who are you to ChatGPT? So let us just try to do the same thing within code. So let me go to ChatGPT and show you what is happening. So if you go to ChatGPT and you just ask, who are you? So it gives you some response. I'm ChatGPT or something. So now let us just ask the same question to the model. Now, what is happening? Let us see. So I'm just asking, who are you to model GPT-4o. So this is the syntax that I have written. So this is not my invention. This is how OpenAI is. This is the same syntax that OpenAI has created. So this is no one's invention. OpenAI has actually mentioned if you want to use GPT-4o model, you have to write code like this. So where you have to put the input in this form. So I'm just using the same format that OpenAI uses. So let me just get out. So in this step, you can see that I'm actually using a GPT-4o model. I'm using a GPT-4o model and I'm asking the question, who are you? So let us see what it responds. So let's say I'm an artificial intelligence by OpenAI called GPT-4o, which is like this. So what is basically happening here? Whenever you're running this query, this is going to GPT-4o. That's a GPT-4. And then it is actually giving us the response here. This way you are able to so this is a very confined environment, right? So whenever you're using ChatGPT, whatever you ask and whatever you get as a response is only limited to this particular screen, so you can't expand. So by using an API key, you can actually create anything of yourself. You just need some Python code and you need an API key. Now you can deploy this application anywhere. So that is what I have done in the math teacher application as well. I have actually used GPT-4 API to actually create an application on top of this. So I'll also show you the code that I've used for the math teacher part as well. Now, with this step, you can understand how to create a simple chat. So if you want to chat with GPT-4o, this is the very simple code that you can use, where you just mention the model name is equal to this thing, and you just say, who are you, or whatever your question is, you can just go ahead and ask. Tell me about climate change. You can just go ahead and run this model and it will actually give you the output. The same procedure is happening. Whatever query that you're telling, it's using the API key to send the query to GPT-4o model, since we are using that one. And now we are going to get a response on this. You can see the response was a pretty large response that we. So this is how you can use GPT-4o very simply. So this is the very simple code that you will use. Just within 3 lines of code, you can actually create an entire application. So this is the backend part of it. Front end part is something that you can write, but backend code is as simple as this, just 4 lines. Now, what I've done is I have just created a simple Python function that will help you convert this app. So this is the function that I've written. The function says translate with GPT-4o, right? So the translation, so I've written a prompt here. Instead of writing the query entire, I'm saying to translate the following sentence, English text to Hindi, right? And I'm just creating a prompt template where input will go in this. And I'll just run this and show you how this is working. So now I have instructed the model. So take a English text and convert to Hindi, right? So now let's say my input is I love coding. So let us see if it is able to convert that into Hindi or not. तो मुझे कोडिंग करना बहुत पसंद है. So which is probably a right answer, which is a correct answer. So one good thing about GPT-4o is it's also good at Indian languages. So it is also good at many other Indian languages, not just Hindi. So let's say if you want to try out a different language, let's say you want to try out Telugu or something, you can also do that. You can just run this function. So now I have instructed the model, whenever there is an input from English, convert this into Telugu or something. So I can read Telugu, so I can attest that it is actually a correct response. So whatever. So it is actually giving a correct response. So this way you are able to create a very simple language translator application, right? So you can create an app out of it. You can create a website out of it, which uses a simple translation, something like this. So with that, we have actually built or maybe understood the code to build a translator application, right? So now, before we proceed to seeing the code for AI Math Teacher, I think there are a lot of questions on the chat. So let me just take 2-3 questions and proceed to the next part. Okay, let's say I'll just scroll over the questions. Is there a limit on data size that can be uploaded? Data size uploaded, there is surely a limit. I'm not sure as to exact MB limit of that, so that you can directly check it from their website. And yeah, they have a provision to link your Google Drive or something. So that is the provision that is coming soon to ChatGPT. So where do I upload the recorded video? That will be uploaded on the website, and you will also get a mail when the video is uploaded. So don't worry about it. So there is a question about how to use GPT-4 for custom applications. So this is what we are reviewing exactly. So your question should be answered. Yeah, the collab file will also be sent, but for now, just focus on what I'm showing you. This collab file will also be shared with you, so you can run it in your own time. So I'll just send the code immediately after I run this part. So, but for now, focus more on what I'm telling, and then this code will be available to you anyway, so don't worry about it. Okay, I think I have covered the questions. So if I have missed any question, you can just, there is one more question. Is the API key free to use? It is not free to use. So you need to create an account, and it's actually very cheap. So for just sign up for an account with OpenAI and probably recharge it with $2 or $3. That should also give you enough tokens to experiment with. So again, it's not free, but it is not very costly also. So you can just spend less than $5 to recharge your account, and then you can use the model freely. Okay. Now let us proceed to the next part, where, as I mentioned, whatever parts that I've shown in the first part of the code is very simple. So this was what GPT 3.5 could also do. So this is something that a number of other models are also able to do. So what is the speciality about GPT-4o is that it is a very capable vision model. So it means that I can actually uh, query images. I can actually put a image URL and actually get something from this. So let's say one image that I want to check is that, so let's say I take a photo of an Indian dish, and I'll see if GPT-4o is able to identify it or right. So let me just search for a picture of gulab jamun, right? So let me go to images. Okay, this image feels good to me. So let me just copy the image address, go back to my code, and I'm just pasting the image address here. Now I'm just asking it a question. If you see this, the question says I'm asking what is in this image. So let us see if it is able to answer it correctly or not. Okay, so this was the image that we took. This was the image that we took. And let us see what GPT has given us an output for this. So it says the image shows a bowl of gulab jamun, a popular Indian dessert, which is nice. So I think this is very simple. So let us just see if we are able to get a recipe for this particular dish. So so it is a good thing that GPT-4o is able to identify that it is gulab jamun. So now let us see if we are able to get a recipe for this, right? So how do I cook? So let's say this is the question that I have. Let us see if it is able to give the answer for this. So the image URL, I just copied it from here. You just do a right click and just say copy image address. So this is how you find the image URL. Now, as you can see, it was very simple than we thought, right? So I just uploaded the image URL and I just asked it a question, how do I cook this? So it is correctly identify saying that the dish is image of gulab jamun, a popular Indian dessert. Here is a basic recipe to create a gulab jamun. So it's actually giving some ingredients. So I can also attest for this recipe because I have cooked this before. So I think this is perfect. So that way, you can see how you are able to leverage the image model, right? You can just input the image URL or maybe directly the image, and you can start chatting with it. But things will actually get more interesting if you're able to do something crazy with it, right? So like the image model that so like the application that I've seen. So, okay, it is able to identify images of dishes or something and give us recipes. But this is a very useful use case, right? So most of the children in the world don't have access to proper teachers these days, right? So AI can actually be a solution where, let's say, even if there is no teacher available, AI can be made available. So AI can actually help solve a teaching crisis in the world, not just in India. Now, using the same code, let us see how to solve math problems with GPT-4o. So I think I'll just take a new image URL. Let's say this is the image URL is equal to. So let me just find a new image for this. For now, let me just find some simple math problems. Okay, these are very simplistic. Okay, let me see if this is GPT is able to correctly answer this or maybe explain how to solve this thing. So I think, can anyone guess the answer for this? So that we can cross check if GPT-4 is answering correctly or not. So if you know the correct answer for this, just send it on the chat so that once we have the answer, we know if ChatGPT is doing correctly or not.
One. It's one. It's one.
It is one. Okay. Let us see if GPT is able to answer it correctly or not. Let me just copy image address. Let me go ahead and paste it in. So this way you can see that, okay, tell me how to solve this, or maybe give me the answer to this step by step. So let us see if it is able to give the correct answer for this one. Okay, the final answer is one. I think most people have mentioned the correct answer. So you can see that it is also giving a very step-by-step answer. So it says that there are no parentheses, so you don't need to worry. There are no exponents, you don't need to worry about that. Multiplication and division, then it is also following a very simple BODMAS rule, I'm guessing. So that way you can see that that this is actually working very well. That way, so I have used similar code for my application as well. So there is little more modifications that I've did to the code before deploying it. But otherwise, this is the base code that I've used. So whenever you see an application like this, uh, realize that realize that it is not a very complicated thing to build. Right? It's just a matter of using the right API, giving the right prompt and right context. So if you are able to do that, you can also start creating simple applications like this. I think we have a lot of people who mentioned 9, 10, and 9 as an answer. So I think GPT-4o would be a perfect tool to learn or maybe revise math basics. Okay, great. So this way, you can actually use GPT-4o. So till now, what we have seen is that we have used GPT-4o within ChatGPT. We have explored multiple features there, and then we came back to the code where I'm actually showing you how to use GPT-4o within chat within vision models to make recipes, or maybe to use it as a math teacher. So this is how we use it, right? Now with this thing, okay. So with this thing, I'm actually done with the main part of the course, right? Okay. With this thing, I'm done with the main part of the course, but I am going to share you how to create a personalized bot with GPT-4 as a bonus, right? So I'll just share how to create your own ChatGPT with GPT-4o and how you can share it as a link. So, but before that, you will have to bear with me for 3 to 4 minutes, where I'll just talk about the crash course that we are solving. So before that, so I just wanted to touch upon this point where I want to talk about why you should learn generative AI. So if you are till this point in the session, you might have already seen the wonderful things that you can do with generative AI, and you need not be very technically oriented person to leverage these tools, right? So most of the even with the coding part, even with the ChatGPT part, most of the part can be directly like, even if you don't have any technical knowledge, or maybe even if you don't even have to spend a lot of hours to gain these skills as well. So why should you learn generative AI? So I'll tell you, there are two main reasons. So one thing is the productivity aspect that you will get with using something like ChatGPT, or maybe AI in general. So ChatGPT is only 0.1% of what generative AI has to offer. So one thing that you need to notice, you will get huge productivity gains if you use generative AI. So personally, I am able to accomplish a lot more than I was able to do before. So I run a company, I do a lot of coding, I take a lot of sessions. So I'm able to do all these things because I'm able to automate, or maybe able to augment generative AI to do most of my tasks. So that is how it actually helps as a huge productivity booster. And the second main reason why you should learn generative AI is to stay relevant, right? So there was a recent survey which said that 50% of people will lose their jobs to generative AI in the next 3 years, right? So I myself have worked in corporate. I have worked with many other startups as well. So I could see a lot of jobs going away to AI, not because AI is becoming more and more powerful. So the number of things that AI can achieve is also increasing very rapidly. So this prediction says that 50% of jobs will be replaced with AI in next 3 years. So you might not be seeing it, but once the change starts, you can never go back. So generative AI is very important for everyone, irrespective of the domain that you are in, given these two main reasons. And I'm not telling you to learn generative AI just from Build Fast with AI or something, but wherever you are in your particular career or anything, it would certainly help you if you learn about generative AI. So, but I'll just talk about the crash course that we are launching, right? So, the course is designed. Let's say if you were to start learning about generative AI today, there are a lot of different things within generative AI, right? So, the chatbots, RAG, fine tuning, agents, multimodal models, cybersecurity, LLM APIs. So, there are n number of topics that you have to learn. So, if you were to explore these topics, all these topics on yourself, you will at least take so give or take, you will at least take 300 to 200 hours easily. Like even if you are a technical person or non-technical person, to get a very good understanding of basic generative AI concepts, it will easily take you 200 to 300 hours. So, but with a crash course, we have organized Build Fast today. We have organized like 50, more than 50 workshops. We have conducted more than 4 cohorts of our crash course. So we have designed a course in such a way that instead of taking 300, 400 hours, we will give you the entire basic understanding of generative AI within 30 hours, right? So that is how we do it. So week one, we have divided the entire course into 4 weeks. So where week one will talk about basics of generative AI, how to use LLM apps, how to create simple apps. So week two will talk about how to create chatbots, how to create chat with PDF, chat with videos. Week three will be about fine tuning your own model. So how can you take a model and fine tune it on your own data? How can you create your own data? And week four will be about AI agents and multimodal models. So this is also a very emerging topic, AI agents and multimodal models. So my point is to like there are a lot of things happening in generative AI. Everyone should learn generative AI because the amount of gains that you can get by learning this technology is too hard to ignore. So there are a lot of resources available online, starting from YouTube videos to articles to everything. You can go through all of them, but it will take a lot of time and you will still not be confident. So, but if you sign up for our course, which people from many other popular companies have also signed up for, uh, you will get the entire understanding of generative AI within just 30 hours. So out of which 15 hours will be live lecture. So this is a 1 hour lecture where I was talking about GPT-4o. So in the main course, I'll be the one who is teaching for around 12 to 15 hours, plus 10 hours of doubt solving session. And we'll also give you access to premium videos. So I'll just show you how to register for the course. So you can go to buildfastwithai.com and you can just click on generative AI course and you can just register for the course right away. So once you register, we'll have your interest and we will call you and we'll give you a special discount. So currently we only have 25% discount, but for all the participants in this session, we'll give you a 50% discount. The first 10 people to use that promo code will get the discount as well. So if you go to the website and click on buy now, you can see a 25% coupon that we are giving to everyone. But if you want to purchase the course right now, so the first 10 people to purchase the course will get a 50% off, right? So the current course price is 20,000 rupees, but with the coupon code that we'll give you, you can actually get it for 10,000. So to actually create a custom GPT, it's actually very simple. So you can just go ahead and click on Explore GPTs button within ChatGPT. And you can just click on my GPT. So these were the chatbots that I've created before. So you can just see, let's say, okay. So whenever you open and click on create a new GPT, this is the interface that you'll find. So one thing that you can do is you can actually enter the details. So you can actually enter the details of the bot that you want to create. You can create an image. You can do a lot of things directly from this. Or let's say, even if you don't want to deal with anything, you can just go ahead and chat with GPT Builder. So you can just give a direction on, let's say, I have created a Python bot. So if I want to create a TypeScript bot or JavaScript bot, I can just instruct it saying change the name to JavaScript bot. Modify the bot accordingly. So you can just chat with a GPT Builder. So you can go ahead and click on Explore GPTs button. Once you click on it, you can create a new GPT. So once you are here, you can just go ahead and chat with it, saying that what is the kind of GPT that you want to create, and it will actually give you the answers. So I have just instructed it to change the name to JavaScript bot. So it has changed it. Earlier it says it said about something about Python. Now it changes to JavaScript. So simply by chatting with GPT, you can actually build a bot. So once you have built a bot, you can actually click on preview and you can actually share this link with other people as well. So this is the link. So I'm just clicking anyone with the link. Okay, so I just share the link as well. Yeah. So this way you can actually update the app and share it with your friends. If you're using, I think this feature is widely available. You don't even need plus subscription. I think this is also available in India, right? Okay, I just have to send it to everyone, I think. So this is the link of the chatbot that I've created. So where this is a JavaScript bot, which will help you learn basics about JavaScript. So you can just go ahead and create a bot for yourself using this. Again, the steps are clear. Just go ahead and click on Explore GPTs. And Explore GPT, you can just create a new GPT just by chatting with the bot. So with this thing, I end the session today, where we are talking about these things. Now, if you have any questions or queries, you can just go ahead and ask me right now. So any questions regarding the course that we are offering, or maybe GPT-4o, or anything with respect to generative AI, you can do it.